So let's say in this video, what we're going to do, we're going to add images and we're going to add a link. And these are syntaxes that are a little bit longer, but you eventually want to memorize how to write these. So the first thing we're going to do is add an image. So we actually need to go find a image. So I'm just going to go to Google and I'm just going to talk dog images. And let me find a puppy here. Go to images. And he looks like a good dog, so let's choose him. So what I want to do is I want to grab this image and place it in my folder. It is imperative that we place the image in the folder that we're working on. So in this case, I'm working in the day 2 folder. This is the folder. You need to make sure that you're doing that, and I'm going to show you how to know if you're working in the correct folder. But first, let's put this image in the correct spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on this image. If you're on Mac and you don't have access to right clicking, you can click Control and click, and we're going to go to Save Image As. Save Image As. And I'm going to click on Save Image As. And I'm going to call this, rename it, and I'm going to call it Dog. Now some of you may have where it looks like this. So just hit that drop down and click there. And there's a few different formats for images. You have JPEGs, which are, raster based images. So they're pictures that you would take with the camera. And then you have PNGs, which are vector based. And those are things that you create in Illustrator that we can scale up to sort of any size and not lose any resolution. So we just want to work with these images for now. So all I need to do is call it dog, and we'll worry about the formatting. You'll see here it says the format is JPEG. That's fine. We don't need to save that with the name. We just need to rename this. But we need to make sure that we put it in the correct folder. So I'm going to find my day 2 folder, or whatever name of the folder that you're working in, and let's hit save. So we'll see that it's downloaded, and you'll notice that it's JPEG. And sometimes they come from the internet as JPG and JPEG. You need to know which one it is, simply because if it has the E and you don't put it, your image won't show up. So let's go back and open up Visual Code, and you'll see that there's my image right there. It's in the folder. I can tell in my file directory. And if you don't have your actual file directory, you can click this and that will pop it up. But we can see that I'm in the index and then I'm in day 2. This is your hierarchy. So this is the file that you're working on, and this is the folder. So let's go in and add our image syntax. So the way that we do this is we're going to say open caret, and then I'm going to say img for image. All right. And then we're going to write space, and we're looking for the image's source. So I'm going to say src, all right, image source. And whenever you're doing that, it's equal to something. So I'm going to say equals, and then after equals, you can always bet that there is a quotation mark after that. And after I put the quotations, you can see that it already knows I'm sort of looking for my dog image, and it's the only one that I have, so I'm going to click on that. And we have that syntax finished, but we have to do one thing. You'll see that my body is lit up in red, and that's because I'm not quite finished. I have to close it with the closed caret, or the greater than sign. And if I hit save, my image should show up. And there that big boy is. All right. Now, we're going to add a couple things to this. So after the closing quote, let's hit space and make sure that you're in between your greater than sign and the quote. And what we're going to do is we're going to add an alt tag. And what an alt tag is, it's a description of your image, but it also can work with SEO practices. So if someone types in, Big Great Dane, and my alt is Big Great Dane, it can kind of help my site move up. But the alt tag is mostly like a description if your image doesn't show up. You don't have to do this. I don't require you to do this on your projects, but it is a great thing if you're working with a client. You want to make sure that all your images have an alt tag, and what you put in there is up to you. So I can say alt equals, and then put my quotes, and then I can say, you know, big dog. I'm just writing it how I would in a text editor. And I'm gonna hit save, and you'll notice that nothing actually happened. All right, but let's say if my image, let's say I messed this up, and I hit save. Let's see what it does. And you'll see that big dog shows up in the description, so I'll know, like, okay, this is the big dog image. But let me go back and change this to E. All right, and the last thing that we're going to add in the syntax is we might actually want a width parameter. So you may want to scale its size. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write width, and I'm going to say equals, and then we know our quotes, and you're going to give this a pixel value. So let's say I wanted to bump this up to 600 pixels. I could do that right here. Go live. And there it is. It jumps up to 600 pixels. Now this is what we call upscaling. And upscaling is not necessarily a good thing because your image can become pixelated. So we do want to stay within the realm. So if I say like 300 pixels, you can see it jumps to 300 pixels. And we're all set there. All right. So pretty easy in adding a image.